Pop icon Justin Bieber has officially been banned from purchasing Ferraris by Ferrari themselves. And I know you're probably wondering, what did he do? Did he get another DUI or run over another paparazzo in his custom wide-body 458? No, actually, what he did that was so offensive to Ferrari was go out and party in Los Angeles and valet his car and safely got home another way instead of driving drunk. He just happened to forget where his Ferrari was parked, so it took his assistants about 3 weeks to find it, but it did eventually come back. Nonetheless, Ferrari is already not that okay with you drastically modifying how the car looks, so him losing it for 3 weeks and seemingly not caring that much about it just rubbed Ferrari execs the wrong way, and they allegedly blacklisted him forever. How you doing? My name is Braden. You're watching Motor Biscuit, and believe it or not, the Biebs is not the only celebrity who's gotten the blacklist axe from Ferrari. There's actually quite a few of them. Now, if you're familiar with Ferrari, you're probably familiar with the antics involved with buying one, especially with high-end ones like the LaFerrari or LaFerrari Aperta or the Ferrari Enzo. You have to have had other special edition Ferraris, have a good relationship with your local Ferrari dealer, visit the Ferrari factory in Italy, and do all this other pesky stuff that's a little bit ridiculous. And by little, I mean a lot. Famously, Ferrari first pulled back the curtain on this little bit of an issue when Top Gear wanted to test the McLaren P1, the Ferrari, LaFerrari, and the Porsche 918, and Ferrari refused to give them a test car because they knew they were going to compare them against those two competitors, and Ferrari even said that anybody who loaned Top Gear their LaFerrari would be forbidden from buying special edition Ferraris ever again. Now, there's certainly no shortage of prestige with Ferraris, but when someone like Jay Leno, who has 17 of every car ever made, won't buy a Ferrari because the dominatrix-like customer service, you might want to reevaluate how you're doing business. But, yeah, who are we to say? Anyway, here's a list of some other celebrities that got the axe from Ferrari. Famous rapper Tyga actually got banned from purchasing Ferraris after the line in his hit song Hookah didn't mention Ferrari, instead said Ben Frank baddies in the Benz wagon. That's not actually true, it's just a fun line to say. But anyway, Tyga actually has a reputation for allegedly leasing vehicles and not paying them off, so not only did he once have a Ferrari 458 repossessed, the company he was leasing it from actually sued him for the full amount of not just that car, but also a Rolls-Royce Ghost that he stopped making lease payments on. Of all the reasons to ban someone from purchasing your cars, not paying for them seems like a pretty fair play, so we're going to go with Ferrari's side on this one. That's going to be a rare win for the prancing horse, though. Up next, if you aren't familiar with the Top Gear story, you probably are familiar with deadmau5's Ferrari. deadmau5 bought a 458 and he wrapped it with the iconic internet meme Nyan Cat, and even had custom floor mats and custom Ferrari badges, Ferrari parody badges made that were a pouncing cat instead of the prancing horse. And the prancing horse executives did not like that, even though we feel that probably falls under parody art laws. Ferrari can probably afford some pretty decent lawyers, so good call on deadmau5's part to nix that one and just undo the wrap. He then did a Lamborghini Huracan with a very similar design, and as far as I know, Lamborghini didn't take any issues with that. Chris Harris, and this is a little bit of a surprising one. If you know Chris Harris on cars on YouTube, Chris Harris is also the host of Top Gear, and he's been an editor for a million different magazines and websites, including Jalopnik. Chris Harris got the blacklist action taken from Ferrari after he wrote an article alleging that Ferrari's test cars are more optimized to be perfect than their customer cars are. That way they get really good reviews from critics. And Ferrari isn't the only company that's been accused of partaking in this action, but it is the only one that evidently will be so offended by it that you're not allowed to buy their cars anymore, even if you're a very wealthy automotive personality. Nicolas Cage also made the list when he had to sell basically his entire Ferrari collection. The rumor is that he had spent all of his money and was flat broke, and that's why he sold it. Of course, there's no confirmation of that, but actually in that list was a Ferrari Enzo that actually wound up going to another person who will be on our list shortly. Perhaps the most recent addition to the blacklist is rapper 50 Cent, who posted a picture of his Ferrari 488 on the bed of a tow truck because the battery was dead and the car wouldn't start, and he called it a lemon with a little bit of language I won't throw in there to keep this a family-friendly show. and Ferrari did not like that. Bill Cino may or may not be an official celebrity. You can leave that up to your own opinions, but he is someone that has had issues with Ferrari in the past, and he actually is the person who purchased Nicolas Cage's Ferrari Enzo. See, I vibe with Bill Cino a lot because he even admitted publicly that he will keep buying Ferraris, but he prefers to buy them secondhand so that he doesn't have to deal with Ferrari's politics in purchasing a new car. Go Bill. You spend as much money as you need to if you have it. Why not, right? Another person we struggle to call a celebrity, but somebody who definitely deserves to be on this list, is Ferrari collector David Lee. David Lee, you can actually see on YouTube his entire collection of crazy vintage and rare Ferraris like the F40, F50, 288 GTO, and a million other vintage, antique, crazy rare Ferraris. His collection is allegedly worth about $50 million. So when David Lee applied for a LaFerrari and wasn't given the opportunity to buy one because the allocations are decided at the factory ahead of time and he didn't make that list, there was actually quite a bit of an uproar from the Ferrari community, not necessarily David Lee himself, but a lot of people took issue with the fact that one of the guys with the most prestigious Ferrari collections wasn't on Ferrari's VIP list to purchase the LaFerrari. He actually did end up getting one though, because one of the hosts of Shark Tank, who is to remain anonymous in the description, Motor Biscuit knows who it was, backed out of purchasing his, so they transferred the sale to David Lee, who then had to sign the 18-month agreement saying that he wouldn't sell the car. Which is a bit of a weird thing, right? Because 18 months of appreciation is probably going to make the car a lot more valuable. But David Lee is a Ferrari collector and he has no intent of selling them. If we miss any Ferrari blacklisting stories, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. If you want to see more coverage on Ferrari related stuff at Motor Biscuit, check out the link in the description. As always, my name is Braden with MotorBiscuit.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.